After many months of reactions, I am finally listening to a full Metallica album. Now, I've reacted to a ton of their songs, and I knew a few before getting into them, but we're going back to where it all started with Kill 'Em All from 1983. This is like one of the albums, or the album, that kind of gave birth to thrash metal. I'm not 100% sure because I don't know too much about it, but I'm very excited because I know a lot of people love the album, and I know two songs on here. They are The Four Horsemen and Seek and Destroy, the two big ones. I knew Seek and Destroy before, and I reacted to The Four Horsemen not too long ago, and there are 10 tracks on here. The album came out July 25th, 1983, and it's 51 minutes long. The 10 tracks are Hit the Lights, The Four Horsemen, Motor Breath, Jump in the Fire, Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth, Whiplash, Phantom Lord, No Remorse, Seek and Destroy, and Metal Militia. If I'm saying that correctly, I apologize if I'm not. The only thing I really know about this is that Kurt Cobain really likes Whiplash, because I just heard, I think I think that Kurt Cobain really likes it because I heard Kirk Hammett talk about it in some YouTube video. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I'm very excited. I don't really have much more to say about it, but I hope I'm done the album by the time I have to go to work, and I'll see you guys in 51 minutes. Well, that was incredible. That was honestly a lot better than I expected. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. When you go into a band that's as big as Metallica, and you go and you listen to their first ever album, you expect it to be weaker than the other ones, because obviously they have not only some of the biggest metal albums, but some of the biggest albums of all time, and this one was really fantastic. There was not a single bad track on here. It flew by, like it absolutely flew by. It did not feel like 51 minutes or whatever it is, and if you're new to my first time listening videos, this isn't really an official review. This is just where I go and I listen to the album, like obviously off camera for the first time, and then I discuss it track by track and really talk about what makes it great. If it is a great album or if it sucks, I will admit, but this one was fantastic. I can definitely see it being in like their top 5 albums. I guess we'll have to see when I listen to the rest, but there's just something about the guitar that just right from here, like the tone is so on point. Cliff Burton's bass, he is one of the best bass players of all time, and I know you guys already know that, and it's very sad that we lost him. Rest in peace, Cliff. But there's a bass solo on here, and I had no idea it was a bass until I looked up. I'm like, is that guitar? And it's like, no, it's just a bass solo, and it works perfectly with the rest of the album, and that's what I really appreciate. And everyone will always give Lars shit, but he's one of my favorite drummers. As soon as I started getting into Metallica, he became one of my favorites, and the more I listen, the more I love him. I think his drum work is really fantastic here. Of course, James Hetfield was very young here, so some of his vocals, you could definitely hear like the puberty in his voice, but for me it worked with the rest of the stuff. And Kirk Hammett, of course, phenomenal, top 3 guitar players of all time for me. And Dave Mustaine co-wrote some of these, so I'll give him credit. I'm not exactly sure which ones, but for everything he co-wrote, good job, man. Need to get into Megadeth, but let's jump into the track list. So it kicks off with the amazing song Hit the Lights, and I was just like, okay, I haven't heard this song, and it felt so familiar. I don't know if it's in like a movie or anything, but there was something about it the second it started and like the main riff kicked in. I was like, this sounds so familiar. I'm not 100% sure why, but I really loved it. It was a really great start to the album because it almost sounded like the end to a show. Like the starting here kind of sounds like the end of the show, if that makes sense. And then it goes into The Four Horsemen, easily one of the biggest tracks on here and one of the best. This one is just incredible. One of my favorite songs lyrically by Metallica. I wouldn't say it's in my top 10 or anything right now, but lyrically it is amazing. The vocals, again, this is like the main song I think of when I think of very young James Hetfield, and it works, and the solo is just incredible here. Motor Breath was really, really good. I think it is the shortest song on this album, so I don't have, again, too much to say about it, but it was really great. And then Jump into the Fire was really cool, and I think this song was the one that had that amazing breakdown like halfway through, and it's not like to the same extent of like Creeping Death, which might be my favorite Metallica song, that one or one, but I really love them. Again, like I loved all the tracks on here. This one really worked for me, and I love just the feel of all these songs. Like the vibe works perfectly with it. And then Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth is the bass solo here. Again, it's longer than like Motor Breath and stuff, and it's almost as long as Hit the Lights, and it flies by. It is incredible. It's some of the best like instrumental music I've heard, and I feel like this is the first Metallica instrumental I heard. I know I said I was going to react to Orion, but I guess I'll just talk about it when I talk about the Master of Puppets album, but this one really worked. This is more proof that Cliff Burton is one of the best bass players of all time, And then my favorite song on the album is Whiplash. Now, I didn't know anything about this song going in. It's honestly not like the longest song or anything. It's 4 minutes and 8 seconds, and for me, it worked perfectly. There was just something about like that power behind this song. It wasn't like a power ballad or anything, but for me, it just worked really well. I think it's the only song in here with swearing too, which I kind of find ironic, but it is my favorite song in here. And then Phantom Lord might be my second favorite, or I don't know. Seek and Destroy is great. Four Horse, like they're all so great, but I really love this one. This one, just like Whiplash, had so much power behind it. I think that's what made it really well. And then No Remorse, I feel like would be amazing in concert. There's something, again, kind of with the high energy, high voltage with this song that is just so kick-ass. And that's what's great about this thrash album, is that it's so kick-ass. And then Seek and Destroy is the biggest song on here, and I love this song. This is easily like top 3, top 5 of the album. I really love it. When I was listening to it this time, I did have to skip over it because I have to go to work in like 2 minutes. So if I'm talking fast, that's why. But I've heard this song like 20 times, so I already know how it goes pretty well. So I didn't have to listen to it. But when I listen to the album again, like fully, then I will listen to it. It isn't anything on the song. And then it finishes off with Metallica, or however you say that. This is probably my least favorite song on the album, but it's by no means a bad song. It's just like, maybe it's because it's after like this, well, actually I was gonna say amazing run of these 4 songs, but every single song before it is amazing, and this isn't a bad song at all. It's actually a very good song. I just don't think it was as good as the other ones, but I also think that it's kind of good it was here, because the album wouldn't have worked if it ended with Seek and Destroy. It needed one more song, kind of as a more cool down, and it's not like a slow song or anything. It's really high energy, but it still worked for me, just not as well as the other songs. But I really, really love Kill 'Em All. I loved it even more than I thought I would. I think that it's an amazing thrash album, and really for any metal band, this would probably be their best album. And I think that Metallica is supposed to have like 3 or 4 that's like even better than this. I think it's just all opinion and everything, but I loved it. But I want to know what you think of this album. Where does it rank amongst the other ones in the Metallica catalog, the discography, whatever you want to call it? What is your favorite track? For me, it's Whiplash, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.